Both League of Legends game and Legends of Runeterra card game provide a certain type of scenarios or hypothetical scenarios in which specific champions can find themselves during combat either under an ally or enemy circumstances. And while none of them are certain to be used in potential arcane situation, we have known for some voice interactions to be actually implemented into arcane script.
Vi, she's too far gone.
She's too far gone.
While the game obviously creates an ally-enemy situations for the sake of combat, Arcane does not follow these rules since it's an entirely different medium and can only potentially obey what League of Legends lore presents as canon. While doing so, it surely aims to reach a specific place story-wise, but it takes its very own route to get there. A good example would be providing backstories as to why Powder becomes Jinx, why Jinx becomes Zone's most wanted criminal, at least for now, providing Vander's road to potentially becoming Warwick, Victor's way of slowly turning into herald of the new age of technology, or Caitlyn becoming Sheriff of Piltover, and Vi potentially working by her side as her partner. Welcome to another brief Season 2 predictions video based on League of Legends lore, League of Legends voice lines when it comes to this particular video. It's sort of a Valentine's special, so to speak. And in this one I want to discuss the importance of the voice lines in terms of where next seasons of Arcane might take us when it comes to Caitlyn and Vi's relationship. Now, with all Bender in Season 1 getting excited over a wonderfully built slow burn romance, a fantastically represented LGBT relation, wondering where it takes us next given all the complications and strings attached. Caitlyn coming from Piltover, Vi coming from Zone, being raised in extremely differing circumstances to say the least. Caitlyn in a wealthy, upper-class Piltovian family, Vi becoming an orphan at a very young age, being taken in by Vander, then losing him too and ending up in jail, becoming a prisoner despite not actually committing a crime around the same time Caitlyn decided to join the forces. Yet where the story will ultimately take us based off League of Legends is here.
Piltover's finest. Piltover Enforcer on the scene.
You certainly know how to make an entrance.
And name for our ship. A famous duet of two partners, both working together for the Enforcers, possibly with slightly differing approaches, but most definitely towards the same goal, keeping peace in both Piltover and Zone, potentially going after Warwick and dealing with its implications, potentially controlling Jinx, or even going after her because of what has happened by the end of Season 1.
I'll be keeping a close eye on you, Jinx. You've caused enough chaos as it is. Is there a point to this madness, Jinx, or is it just a channel for your pain?
It has been certainly a challenge for them to be able to reach that place in a believable way. How do you go from a girl hating the Enforcers for what they did to her parents, for what they did to Zone oppressing its streets, to actually wanting to join the Enforcers herself? But Arcane somehow managed to get there, to find itself in a spot where script-wise, maybe not straight away, but Vi joining the Force does not seem quite as impossible anymore. It has all been wonderfully built in Season 1, which I guess at this point could be treated as an introduction to the lore and its variations. We were told why Caitlyn does not want any protection from her family, why she wishes to join the Enforcers, to investigate crimes, why it's her fate to do so. We were shown Vi's long road from the deep streets of Zone, hating anything that comes from Piltover, to actually being open to leaving Zone behind.
We stay out of Piltover's business.
Why? They've got plenty while we're down here scraping together coins.
And obviously, this has all happened thanks to Caitlyn. Both of them were given an opportunity in Season 1 to understand another point of view and go from not getting each other to eventually sharing a mutual respect and, needless to say, a romantic relationship. What Arcane built was a bond that's stronger than any socially constructed walls between upper and lower side, upper and lower class, even between very different approaches when it comes to dealing with crime, which were already shown by the end of Season 1.
This is insane. Did you learn nothing? You can't talk to him.
While Caitlyn vouched for peaceful approach, Vi chose a path of war.
I'll ask politely, though I can't vouch for my partner. I'm glad you'll have my back, Vi. Let's keep the chaos to a minimum, shall we?
In fact, we were already told Season 2 of Arcane is defined by that very word. War. We were also told in Season 2 we will see part that we will love when it comes to Caitlyn and Vi, but also part that we will hate. That's been already discussed. Let's focus on Vi and Caitlyn's relationship in the future seasons based on what voice lines provided for us, and not focusing on the bad stuff that might happen since it's Valentine's Day. Assuming Caitlyn takes Marcus's spot and becomes the new sheriff,
Next violation means a call to Sheriff Kicklin.
which will happen despite her young age, thanks to the fact she was the only one suspecting from the very beginning Jinx stands behind certain attacks happening in Piltover. We will find ourselves in a scenario where she might ask Vi to join her, to become her partner, hopefully in more ways than just the one. It just makes sense. Caitlyn will be for sure going after Jinx, but she knows she cannot do it by herself.
Every way I slice it. If I go after your sister alone, one of us comes back in a box.
While in Season 1 Vi was still somewhat in between sides, hoping to recover powder from within Jinx, what Jinx does by the end of season and its potential deadly consequences might for sure shift her. Vi could, and most probably will, reach a conclusion Jinx has to be stopped by all means for what she mostly causes are death and destruction. Even more so if Caitlyn's mother potentially dies as a result of Jinx's attack. Regardless of Vi's generally violent approach, for sure she does aim to find peace between the upper and the lower side. That is her common ground with Caitlyn, and attacks as destructive won't stand for her. That is precisely why Season 2 might settle for more of a stably antagonistic relation between the sisters, considering the fact both of them somewhat shows where they stand. Jinx validating her transformation.
Vi stands for violence.
Jinx stands for Jinx. Durr.
I'll wipe that grin off your face permanently.
Hey, Hat Lady! Say hello to the new me.
Here's to the new us.
We will also most certainly continue to see antagonistic approach between Caitlyn and Jinx, one that has been slowly built, starting as far as Act 1 when Powder's actions led to blowing up a building belonging to none other than the Kiraman clan, with Caitlyn just behind the wall. Caitlyn has been tracing Jinx's footsteps ever since Act 2, both of them approaching each other cautiously and mistrustingly. Jinx, jealous and threatened, for sure has a personal agenda against Caitlyn, simply because of the fact she blames Caitlyn for her fallout with Vi. She feels replaced. On the other hand, what Jinx does by the end of Season 1, firing a rocket towards the Council, especially if Cassandra Kiraman dies, will provide a personal reason for Caitlyn to go after Jinx, contrary to professional one she was driven by in Season 1. That, again, leads to even more consequences.
Just you and me, Fishbones.
Would Caitlyn actually kill Jinx despite her being her partner's sister? Or would she even have Vi's potential approval?
Wait! She's my sister.
Perhaps Piltover can rest easy without you, Jinx. But Vi...
Or could they perhaps work together, Jinx, Caitlyn and Vi, if a mutual enemy arises? Perhaps a new antagonist, or Warwick/Vander himself.
Are we sure she's on our side?
All these complications and obstacles might be presented in Season 2 and Arcane will for sure break our hearts multiple times again. What we know, however, is that Vi and Caitlyn will be working together as part of the Enforcers, Caitlyn being the sheriff and Vi being her deputy.
Yeah! Teamwork! High five, Cupcake!
Their approaches will differ,
Freeze! Or don't. I don't care.
but their common goal remains the same and will unite them. Stopping Jinx, possibly stopping Warwick, or even going against whoever will replace Silco as the main antagonist. Voice interactions don't lie. Their relationship will be established as a permanent one in Season 2, going as far as Caitlyn confessing her love in one of her last lines upon being defeated in League of Legends.
Tell Vi that I...
Clearly presenting different approaches. They will tease each other, perhaps fight, but ultimately they will remain what we were already told they are. Opposites that attract each other, that might differ but end of the day complete one another. Very much like yin and yang. Some voice lines suggest that Vi might not exactly follow Caitlyn's orders.
Vi, Sheriff sends her orders.
I'll chat with Cupcake later.
Which is to be expected, but she's gonna always be aware being Caitlyn's partner. She is allowed just a little bit more than the others without any major consequences.
I'm doing this my way.
We are doing this our way.
Even Riot recently legitimized them by releasing Valentine skins. So what we're left with are speculations. How fast are we going to reach the place set by League of Legends canon? Are we going to do it? It surely depends on the result of Jinx's blast. The more it destroys, the faster Vi will decide to join Caitlyn in a common fight against whatever enemy might come their way. And hopefully we will see much more of them in Season 2. Thank you so much for watching. This was another Arcane / League of Legends video that I have been lately making. There's more on the way for certain, so do check out the other ones, please, and do subscribe. It helps a lot. Happy Valentine's, whether you are celebrating or not. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of a Caitlyn and Vi video. Because I was like, do we need another one? Do we need another Caitlyn and Vi video? And the answer was yes. I think it's always yes. Stay safe, guys. This was Ola from Stop Meow channel. Bye.